TOEFL Speaking Rate Challenge, 100 to 150 words per minute. Do you know how fast you should be speaking on the TOEFL IBT speaking section? If you're speaking too slowly, your score could drop. If you're speaking too fast with poor pronunciation, that's a problem too. The ideal speaking rate is around 100 to 150 words per minute, and today I'm going to challenge you to hit that target with clarity, rhythm, and confidence. Why speaking rate matters. The TOEFL speaking section evaluates your delivery. That includes pronunciation, intonation, pacing, and rhythm. If you speak too slowly, you sound unnatural, and you may not finish your response. Speak too fast, you lose clarity. ETS raters are trained to listen for a natural, intelligible rate of speech. That's why 150 words a minute is a sweet spot. Let me revise that. I'm going to say I would say that's a good goal is around 150, 150. It's fast enough to show fluency, but slow enough to remain clear and connected. Now let's talk about the speaking rate challenge. I'll show you 10 academic paragraphs, each exactly 150 words long. Your goal is to read each one in about 60 seconds with excellent rhythm, tone, linking, and articulation. After you finish, listen to my version of the same paragraph and compare your performance. Ready to train like a TOEFL pro? So let's get started. Now let me just say one thing before we get into it. It may take you more than a minute. It might be a minute and 10, a minute and 15 seconds. So I will also write in parentheses next to each paragraph how long it took me to read it. So what I recommend you to do is listen to me read the paragraph, see how long it takes me to do it, jot that down as notes, and then you practice reading out loud the same paragraph at about the same time with the same pronunciation. So how do you score yourself using ChatGPT? The TOEFL exam uses SpeechRater, which is artificial intelligence. It's a scoring engine that ETS uses to listen to your speaking. And we know that ETS also uses a E-Rater, a writing scoring engine also. So here's how you can use chat to evaluate your performance. Remember, everything's about context with chat. So upload your audio recording to chat, include the text of the 150-word paragraph, and then ask ChatGPT, score this delivery 0 to 30 using TOEFL Speaking Delivery rubrics, be strict but fair. So chat will assess your pronunciation, pacing, rhythm, and clarity just like a TOEFL rater. Want professional feedback? Visit Better TOEFL Scores from a 99-month speaking and writing feedback service. I'll give you detailed score-based guidance to boost your TOEFL performance. Let's start with paragraph 1. Environmental science, deforestation. Deforestation has significant ecological consequences. When trees are removed, the carbon they store is released into the atmosphere, contributing to climate change. Additionally, forests support biodiversity by providing habitats for countless species. The loss of forest cover can therefore lead to extinction of wildlife. Soil erosion also becomes a major issue without tree roots to hold the earth in place. Rivers and lakes may become polluted as sediments and agricultural chemicals wash into them. Furthermore, deforestation disrupts the water cycle, decreasing local rainfall and increasing the risk of drought. Indigenous communities that rely on forests for food, medicine, and shelter are also affected. Despite these consequences, deforestation continues to commercial farming, logging, and infrastructure development. Policies aimed at sustainable land use and reforestation are essential. Encouraging consumers to buy products made from sustainably harvested wood can help reduce demand. Education and conservation efforts must work hand in hand to preserve forest ecosystems. Got it. So this one, I think a good goal would be 1 minute and 15 seconds. That's how long it took me right there. I don't think I was going super fast and not too slowly. So that would be your goal there. Okay, let's do paragraph number 2. Remember that you can practice all this. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological theory developed by Leon Festinger. It describes a discomfort individuals feel when they hold two conflicting beliefs or when their behavior contradicts their beliefs. For example, a person who values health but smokes may experience cognitive dissonance. To reduce its discomfort, people may change their beliefs, justify their behavior, or minimize the importance of the conflict. This theory explains many behaviors, such as why consumers may rationalize buying expensive products they cannot afford. It also helps us understand political and social attitudes, as individuals often seek consistency in their views. Cognitive dissonance plays a role in education, therapy, and marketing. By recognizing and addressing dissonance, people can make more informed and authentic decisions. Teachers and therapists often encourage individuals to examine inconsistencies between their values and actions. In sum, cognitive dissonance provides a useful framework for understanding human motivation and behavior in various aspects of life. And this one also took right around 1 minute and 15 seconds. So let's put that up there. You can kind of compare. And I think if you're 5 seconds a little bit, if you're at 120, 125, I don't see that as a major problem here, by the way. Now, if you're like 2.5 minutes, that's a big problem. Okay, let's try paragraph 3. Economics, inflation. And we have been experiencing that over the last few years. Inflation refers to the general rise in prices over time, which reduces the purchasing power of money. It is usually measured by indexes such as the Consumer Price Index, CPI. Moderate inflation is often a sign of a growing economy, but when inflation is too high, it can erode savings and create uncertainty in the market. Central banks, such as the Federal Reserve in the United States, use monetary policy tools like interest rates to control inflation. If inflation is too low, it may indicate weak demand or a slowing economy, which can lead to job losses. Hyperinflation, a situation of extremely high inflation, can destroy economies and savings overnight. On the other hand, deflation, or falling prices, may discourage spending and investment. Economists aim for a stable inflation rate, typically around 2%, to maintain economic stability. Understanding inflation is essential for financial planning, investment strategies, and effective public policy decisions. So this one took 1 minute and 10 seconds. So that would be a good goal for you on this one. Okay, paragraph 4, sociology, social stratification. Social stratification refers to the structured inequality of access to resources, privileges, and opportunities in a society. It typically occurs through systems like class, race, and gender. In class-based societies, people are grouped based on income, education, and occupation. These social hierarchies influence access to quality education, healthcare, and housing. For instance, those born into wealthier families often have better opportunities for upward mobility. Stratification also affects how individuals perceive themselves and others, reinforcing social boundaries and stereotypes. Sociologists study how these systems are maintained and challenged through institutions, policies, and cultural norms. Social mobility, the ability to move between social classes, is a key measure of a society's openness. While some societies promote equality of opportunity, others have rigid structures that limit upward movement. Addressing social stratification requires reforms in education, healthcare, taxation, and employment to create a more just and equitable society for all individuals, regardless of background. Okay, this one was 1 minute and 17 seconds. So you can compare your reading to mine. Paragraph 5, biology, photosynthesis. I'm going to reset my watch. Here we go. Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants, algae, and some bacteria convert sunlight into chemical energy. This process takes place in the chloroplasts of plant cells and involves the absorption of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and water from the soil. Using sunlight as the energy source, these organisms produce glucose and release oxygen as a byproduct. Photosynthesis is vital for life on Earth because it forms the base of the food chain and supplies the oxygen necessary for aerobic organisms to survive. The process can be summarized by the equation 6CO2 plus 6H2O equals C6H12O6 plus 6O2. In addition to sustaining life, photosynthesis plays a crucial role in regulating the Earth's climate by removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Scientists study photosynthesis not only to understand ecosystems, but to also develop renewable energy technologies inspired by nature, such as artificial photosynthesis and solar energy conversion. Okay, this one took 1 minute and 20 seconds, more or less. Okay, let's go to paragraph 6. History. The Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution marked a significant turning point in human history. Beginning in the late 18th century in Britain, it was characterized by the transition from agrarian economies to industrialized societies. Innovations like the steam engine, spinning jenny, and power loom revolutionized manufacturing, leading to mass production and urbanization. While the revolution brought economic growth and technological progress, it also introduced social challenges. Factory workers often faced long hours, low wages, and poor working conditions. The rapid growth of cities led to overcrowding and public health issues. However, the Industrial Revolution also sparked reforms, such as labor unions, public education, and infrastructure improvements. It spread to other countries over the next century, profoundly altering global trade, transportation, and culture. Historians continue to study this era to understand its complex legacy, how it shaped modern capitalism, industrial society, and the tensions between economic growth and social responsibility. Okay, this took 1 minute and 16 seconds. Let me put this up here so you have a general idea what you're trying to do here. Okay, let's go to the next one, paragraph 7. Astronomy, black holes. Black holes are regions of space where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. They are formed when massive stars collapse under their own gravity at the end of their life cycle. The boundary around a black hole is called the event horizon. Once something crosses this threshold, it cannot return. Black holes vary in size from stellar black holes to supermassive ones found at the center of galaxies. Scientists detect them indirectly through their effect in nearby objects, such as stars or gas clouds, that spiral inward. Observation of gravitational waves and X-ray emissions have provided further evidence of black hole activity. Despite their name, black holes are among the brightest objects in the universe when they consume matter. Their study helps physicists explore the laws of gravity, space-time, and quantum mechanics, making them one of the most fascinating and mysterious phenomena in modern astrophysics. So this one took me 1 minute and 7 seconds. Okay, let's try paragraph 8. Remember, as you listen to me read these paragraphs, there's what we call pacing, where we're pausing not after every word, but after groups of words. I call them grammatical thought groups or thought groups in general, sometimes after an independent clause or before a dependent clause, that kind of thing. And the commas also are indicators of pauses. Okay, here we go. Paragraph 8, political science, democracy. Democracy is a system of government where power is vested in the people, typically through elected representatives. It is founded on principles such as political equality, participation, and civil liberties. In a democratic society, citizens have the right to vote, express opinions freely, and run for office. Regular elections, checks and balances, and the rule of law help prevent the abuse of power. While democracy promotes accountability and transparency, it also faces challenges like political polarization, misinformation, and voter apathy. Different types of democracies exist, including direct and representative models. Some democracies include features like proportional representation or federalism to better reflect diverse populations. Maintaining a healthy democracy requires an informed electorate, active civil society, and protections for minority rights. Political scientists study how democratic institutions evolve, what makes them resilient, and how they can be reformed to meet the needs of modern societies while preserving core democratic values. This one took about 1 minute and 19 seconds. Let's try paragraph 9. Education, critical thinking. Critical thinking is an essential skill in education that involves analyzing, evaluating, and synthesizing information to make reasoned judgments. It helps students move beyond memorization and engage more deeply with content. Teachers foster critical thinking by encouraging open discussions, questioning assumptions, and integrating real-world problems into lessons. When students learn to think critically, they become better problem solvers, communicators, and lifelong learners. This skill is especially important in today's information-rich world where misinformation can spread easily. Critical thinking also supports creativity as it encourages students to consider multiple perspectives and develop original ideas. Assessments that measure critical thinking often include essays, debates, and project-based learning. Educators emphasize its role across all subjects, from science to literature. Schools and universities that prioritize critical thinking prepare students to become thoughtful citizens, capable of making informed decisions in both their personal and professional lives. It is a foundational element of modern education. Okay, this took 1 minute and 18 seconds. And last but not least, paragraph 10. Now, here's another suggestion I think that can be really, really helpful here. You want to practice your language use, right? Which means your control of your grammar and your vocabulary. So there's two things you can do here. First, you can read the passage. You can practice writing a summary of the passage, right? Try to rewrite it using your own vocabulary and your own grammar. Maybe take 150 words here, try to condense it down to maybe 75, something like that. So you're doing a written summary of the reading passage. That would be excellent language use practice for your writing. In addition, you can listen to me read the passage out loud, so you can kind of practice your listening skills, take down notes, and then practice making an oral summary of the passage. So that way you're practicing your integrated writing skills. You're also practicing your integrated speaking skills. So there's a lot of things you can do with this video to help you to improve your academic English. Okay, paragraph 10, anthropology, cultural relativism. Cultural relativism is a concept in anthropology that suggests that a person's beliefs and behaviors should be understood within the context of their own culture. It emphasizes the importance of avoiding ethnocentrism, or the tendency to judge other cultures by the standards of one's own. By practicing cultural relativism, anthropologists aim to observe and interpret social norms, rituals, and values without imposing outside perspectives. This approach has allowed researchers to gain more nuanced insights into diverse societies around the world. Cultural relativism does not mean all practices are morally acceptable, but it calls for understanding before judgment. It encourages dialogue and respect in an increasingly interconnected world. In education, this concept promotes global awareness and intercultural competence. In politics and human rights, it raises important debates about universality versus cultural specificity. Ultimately, cultural relativism is a tool for empathy, understanding, and more ethical cross-cultural interactions and research. I stumbled a few times on that one. I apologize. This took about 1 minute and 21 seconds. So there you go. There are the 10 reading passages. Remember what I said a minute ago. In addition to working on your speaking rate and reading the passages out loud, and then comparing your recording to my recording and trying to read it at the recommended number of minutes and seconds that I posted here, you can also practice writing written summaries of the reading passage. You can also listen to it and then take down notes and give oral summaries of the passage. That way you're practicing your integrated writing and integrated speaking skills as well. Now remember that if you can do this, if you can handle what I'm asking you to do in this video, you're ready to take the TOEFL exam. You'll probably get a pretty good score, right? Maybe you're aiming to get 24 or 25 points in the writing. Maybe you're trying to get 26 points or higher on the speaking. So drop a comment below with your favorite paragraph. Which one did you like? How long did it take you? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with friends preparing for the TOEFL. Let's help everyone speak like a native at 150 words per minute. And don't forget, check out bettertoeflscores.com for expert feedback, tips, and more. See you in the next challenge.